Just to say to you, we've got Kian Egan. Kian's coming in for a roundup from Xfactor this week, and included in that, we've got Lucy Spraggan, Lucy from Sheffield. She got the standing ovation from...
Hello, welcome back. We've got Xfactor gossip with Kian in just a moment. First, though, it's the last week you can enter our luxury prize draw, and it really is luxury. Here
and
are
it
the
really
details.
is the last week.
It is.
It's the summer and we think that you deserve a little bit of luxury, so why not let us send you here to stunning Marbella in sunny Spain.
But the luxury doesn't end there, because there's also this, a truly magnificent Mini Cooper Roadster worth £20,000 to make you the envy of everyone you pass.
You and up to 3 of your flashiest friends or close family will check into your awesome abode, Villa Hippo Feliz, for 7 nights of pure relaxation, courtesy of Solmar Villas. And once you're suitably chilled out, it's time to get out and experience everything local Puerto Banús has to offer.
Because we're throwing in a cool £30,000 spending money so you can keep up with the gorgeous and the glamorous. And I'm not including myself in that lineup.
Thank goodness for that, Matt. This summer is so luxurious, and to be in with a chance of winning, you don't even have to answer a question.
Call 0904 1619 888. Calls cost no more than £1.54 from BT landlines. Calls from other networks may be higher, and from mobiles will be considerably more. Text CAR to 65430. Text costs £1.50 plus 1 standard network rate message. You can also enter for free at itv.com. Entrance must be 18 or over. Entries made after lines close at 5 p.m. on Sunday the 2nd of September will not be counted but may still be charged. Good luck.
OK, now, Saturday night's X Factor. The search continued for this year's musical megastar.
Yeah, and the winner obviously won't be crowned for a bit, but has it already found some contenders?
Right, London? You right, guys? We're gonna save the world tonight.
That's the last time I drink tequila. You're brilliant. Be confident. You're brilliant. Yeah.
Oh, we're young. Oh, we're young. We're young. We're young. We're young.
Yeah, that was a fantastic audition. Well done.
Well done, and giving us his spin now on the action, former Judge's house mentor and Westlife singer, Mr. Kian Egan. And there wasn't a dry eye in the house?
Not at all. Yeah, for sure. I think Saturday's night show is a very emotional show, you know, for the families, for the contestants, for the viewers at home, including myself. And I think, you know, this year we've seen a real surge in young talent coming through. There seems to be a lot of young kind of musical people coming through. It's not just about the singing. We've got the songwriting coming in. It's become a very, very interesting X Factor already this year.
Because I think this is the first year they've been allowed to come on and do an original,
and sing
their own music.
Song. Yeah, I think, you know, as kind of these shows progress with time, I think the producers of the show, Mr. Cowell himself, has realised that, you know, some of the young talent that's out there, some of the songwriters, you know, they kind of might be shying away from the show. But this year we see them coming in, singing their own songs, you know, getting up there with guitars. I think we've seen a whole different kind of side to the X Factor this year.
And you say so many of them are so young.
Absolutely,
you obviously were a mentor with Louis, the Judge's house. That must be hard for them when they're so young and they haven't got any experience of auditioning. And
well, I think, you know, no matter what audition you go for, it's always going to be an experience, a big challenge. But obviously doing a show like this, you know, so many people watch it, you've watched it yourself, then you go in there. I think it's a very, very daunting situation for someone who's never been in front of, you know, TV screens, lights, cameras, all that. I think it's
Or what
crazy.
about Nicole, someone who has never been to Geordieland or something?
She struggled,
She's pulling a few, I think there's a few communication problems here, as we'll see.
Or not.
oh dear, yes. No, she was quite confused, I think.
Yeah, I think the Geordie accent was a little bit confusing for her, but she kind of got to terms with it as the show went on. I think the singing did the talking rather than
Now, somebody who did a lot of talking and then turned out the singing wasn't that great, of course, was Ryland Clark, who was hilarious.
Yeah. I think Ryland was a real character, you know. I think every year on the X Factor there's different contestants that come up that become the character of the show. And I think Ryland was definitely this year's character so far, you know. I mean, you can see him there getting a spray tan and, you know, I mean, he's definitely one of these guys that is you kind of watch him on TV and it's hard not to like him. Yeah. It's hard not to see him on TV. You know, it's almost like he should probably be in The Only Way Is Essex rather than the X Factor. You know, he's one of these characters. But he really was a character. I met him myself.
He did have a lot to say about his appearance, didn't he?
He sure did. He sure did.
Have a look about his tan. This is what he had to say about his tan.
How'd you get your hair like that shiny, Ryland?
Oh, this ain't my hair. I'm full of extensions. You know, I've been standing outside and I think I've got a bit of sunstroke, to be perfectly honest. I'm a bit delirious. I'm quite fair-skinned, actually. This is all fake baked, you know what I mean? So it's really affected me, Rita, honestly.
He was really funny, but when he opened his mouth to sing, wasn't that great?
Yeah, I mean, the vocal performance wasn't too strong, but I think as we saw in the clip, you know, the likability factor was there more so.
He's a character.
It could carry him through, you know. I think we see these types of characters, you know, going very far in the X Factor every year.
Well, he got 3 yeses, so he's through. So we'll see. Rita asked him to go and get some voice coaching, so we'll see.
The first standing ovation of the night was for Kai Sung.
Kai, was it Kai?
Yes, yeah. Kai. Kai, a lovely singer, you know. He did the Rita Ora track, you know. He slowed it down. I think he did an awful lot of things very cleverly, you know. He was just one of these performers, stood up on the stage, you know. I think they'd gone through a whole day of not really necessarily seeing some great people, and then when someone like Kai comes out and just stands there and sings flawlessly, you know, he was up there. You know, the chimney sweeper storyline, there's always the kind of back storyline to him. So yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of Kai in this show.
It was lovely, and he looked so emotional. It was really nice to see that. And Gary said that he did think he was a really great singer, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Gary was very impressed with him. I think, you know, when Gary is sitting there as a singer himself, I think it's always it's important for him to kind of get behind them. I think it's going to be a very interesting situation for him.
And Eamon mentioned there the Geordie accent with Nicole, but she wasn't really very impressed with the talent, was she?
Well, I think, you know, we did see that. We did see that when we were watching Newcastle. You did see an awful lot of, you know, one after the other no's. So I think, you know, when we finally got to the point where there was someone really good, all of a sudden, you know, the whole place lit up, and that did happen.
Well, okay, this is what she had to say.
Unfortunately, we were missing the pitch and the tone. Talent-free zone, TFZ. Don't stop believing.
So she wasn't that impressed until, of course, James Arthur
Yes,
came
Mr.
on.
James Arthur. And I thought, you know, the storyline behind James was very, very powerful. His mum and dad hadn't spoken and they got together on the day to come and see him. But I think, you know, more than anything, when he stood on the stage and he started singing, he sang with such emotion and such passion. And I think that's what, you know, when these shows come on air, there's a lot of great singers, but not an awful lot of them have the emotion. And when someone has the emotion and the passion behind them, which James did, I think it absolutely blows everybody out of the water. And I think for people at home, there wasn't a dry eye in the house, you know, watching that.
Well, let's watch it.
We're young, we're young, we're young. Our soul forgive us for what we have done. 'Cause we're young, we're young, we're young. Oh, we're young, oh, we're young, oh, we're young.
Very emotional for him with his mum and dad, wasn't it?
Indeed.
But also very emotional, of course, was Lucy Spraggan, and she got a standing ovation from the audience and the judges. Let's have a look at her.
Drinking too much and socially smoking. Wish I could start to behave and then wake up in the morning and never miss a day again. 'Cause I'd love to learn when to shut my mouth. Wake up in the morning and be in my own house. Do one last shot and know when to stop. No more photos on Facebook of me doing the robot. Know when to leave and when to lock my front door. Stop waking up and cheesing in a bed full of people. Sitting in a cupboard with my weird best friend. But I'm only young, so I'm not gonna pretend I wish I could stop. 'Cause I'm not joking. I love drinking too much and socially socially smoking. Don't want to stop or learn to behave, amen. And I just missed another day again.
Well, I tell you what, just as fast as her lyrics and singing was the downloads on the iTunes chart. You're sitting at number 2.
Yeah, I was yesterday at number 2. It's amazing.
It is unbelievable, isn't it? Who would have thought?
Nobody, especially not me.
Yeah, well, it just shows you that you're living the dream now. I mean, that's what it's all about. That's what you went in there for in the first place.
Exactly. To go on a show like that and get the exposure and to have it now and see the Twitter followers going up, the iTunes chart, it's incredible.
Well, we were talking about characters and how important characters are, and you're certainly one of those. How would you describe yourself and your routine?
Bit of a, I don't know really, just a northern singer-songwriter.
And when did you write that song last night?
I wrote that about 2 years ago, I think, or I was definitely over 18 though.
Just must point that out. It's very funny. I mean, it really kind of struck a chord with so many people. I said my husband wouldn't understand because he doesn't drink, but that whole the morning after the night before, so through bitter experience, I presume that
if you have one too many Red Bulls, it sometimes feels the same.
Effect, And would you have gone on, Lucy, if you hadn't been able to perform your own music? Because this is the first year they've done this, isn't it?
That was the main reason why I went on, to do my own thing and play my own guitar, and that's brilliant. And I feel like with covers, that's fine. As long as I've got my guitar, I can work on that and be a bit more versatile than people might think that I am.
And what was that like? That audience went crazy for you and a standing ovation from everybody.
I just cried a lot, as you saw. I cried quite a lot. Didn't stop crying for about 20 minutes afterwards. It's outstanding the way that people just have reacted.
And did you hear the latest news just in? Ollie Moores has had your face tattooed on his foot. He has. That's how good it is. That's the X Factor. Kian, Lucy, thank you both very much indeed. We've got to say goodbye to you. Time flies. Every success. Keep it going. And we'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Bye.